Joining me now with more on today's news is Dr. Carrie Altuff, epidemiologist at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. Dr. Altuff, it's great to have you back on Quick Take. What does the FDA need to test before giving Pfizer emergency authorization? What does this actually mean?
So Pfizer is going to be filing an application with the FDA for this emergency use authorization, and it's very exciting. What they're going to be able to do is show their data to the FDA. The FDA will take that data, everybody will be digging into it, and they will also bring in external advisors to dig in and really flesh out what the data are showing, who this vaccine may be working best in, and is it safe to be used in the American public. And so then after we have that review, which will be a scientific, very rigorous review, emergency use authorization may be granted.
Go ahead.
Very exciting. It's so exciting.
It is exciting, and I think it's really exciting, particularly for people in your position, doctors and healthcare providers who've been stretched since March caring for all of us, and we really, really appreciate that. I wonder, though, about the way this is being rushed through. It's happening at a much faster pace than ever before in the history of the development of vaccines and drugs. Does that give you any pause about the approval process and the safety of the vaccine?
You know, the approval process and what is being asked for is very rigorous scientific data behind this, with enough follow-up on these individuals to at least see if this vaccine is safe and if it is protecting individuals. I mean, they did recognize 170 symptomatic illnesses with COVID, right? 170. And of those individuals who did become infected during this Pfizer clinical trial, 162 were in the placebo group and 8 were in the vaccine group. And so, you know, we can take this data and we can look at it, we can bring in these outside experts, and we can make thoughtful decisions. So I'm not worried about the science right now. I think the science is progressing because this has been an amazing process where, I mean, it is unlike anything I've seen in my career. We have worked together as scientific teams across institutions, across different groups, enrolling individuals into these studies to get them up and going so quickly. So that's where the time has really been cut, right? We've been able to do things very quickly because, I mean, COVID in the world of science is an all hands on deck experience. And so I think it's that collaboration and that synergy that has really just propelled us so far forward.
Dr. Altuff, I wonder too about the logistical challenges here, because it's an amazing feat for Pfizer and BioNTech, and of course Moderna and the other companies that have been working so quickly to develop vaccines. The approval process as well, coming from regulatory agencies in the US and around the world, but it's an entirely different thing to actually get these vaccines to the people who need them. The Pfizer one is difficult in itself because it requires the vaccine to be stored at such low temperatures. How is the government going to be able to pull this off and get this vaccine to people like you ASAP?
So I would say that the most interesting logistical challenge is definitely what you state, getting this to the people who need it. Now, the CDC is going to play an important role here because it will be the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices that does set kind of the prioritization. We don't know what that will be yet, but in general, healthcare workers will be at the top. I won't be at the top. I don't do direct patient care, but my husband will be at the top. He does do direct patient care, as will a lot of the other clinicians. So I do think we have to be concerned about the logistical rollout of this, because at first it's going to be not enough vaccine to cover all of our healthcare workers. But then the exciting part again is that there's more than one in the pipeline, right? So we can hopefully ramp up quickly in terms of getting our healthcare workers and first responders, those groups fully vaccinated, and then really getting it to our most vulnerable. It is not going to be easy. I don't think anybody who's been charged with even thinking through the distribution of this thinks it's anything less than a monumental task. But it's definitely something that needs to be done. I'm very hopeful that the transition in the government will allow for those plans to continue to move forward, because of course it is going to take that federal oversight in order for this to move.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quick Take now for insight in an instant.